how to pronounce Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris. My baby nieces, you can go on YouTube, and they did a really great tutorial on how to pronounce my name. So look it up. What did Kamala Harris's mother tell her? She told us that we should never let anyone tell us who we are. You tell them who you are. She said to me many times, Kamala, you may be the first to do many things. Make sure you're not the last. Since I was 2 years old, my mother told me to look out for my little sister. These are all instructions that she gave me that I have carried throughout my life. What does Kamala Harris stand for? I am a daughter of parents who are active in the civil rights movement. They actually took me when I was in a stroller to civil rights marches where they were fighting for freedom, for justice, for equality. I believe, for example, right now that one of the biggest things that we must fight for is the freedom of a woman to make decisions about her own body and not have her government tell her what to do. An important moment that I had was back in 2004 when I was one of the first elected people in the country to perform same-sex marriages, because I believe very strongly that the law should not treat people differently when it comes to being able to love who they love and the freedom to love who you love openly and with pride. Does Kamala Harris have kids? Yes. I have 2. Cole and Ella became my cherished children. Doug, my husband, I was very clear with him that when we started dating, I wanted to see how this thing was going to go before I would meet Cole and Ella. You know, I'm a kid of divorced parents. It was important to make sure that when I developed a relationship with the kids, that it would be lasting. I love those kids to pieces. They are my children, and I'm very proud of them. How was Kamala Harris's life as a child? I had the blessing of having a great childhood. I grew up in a neighborhood full of families, adults who were everything from construction workers to teachers, people who were proud of their lawn. As kids, we used to ride bikes in the neighborhood. I'll never forget and will always love my banana seat on my bike. And I grew up, you know, in a family of people who, you know, some were family by blood and some were family by love. A real incredible childhood. And I want the same for every child in America. Here we go. Where is Kamala Harris from? Oakland, California, the home of the Golden State Warriors, who are one of my favorite teams and have always on the court shown incredible excellence, as has their coach. Where did Kamala Harris go to college? Howard University, which we refer to as the Mecca. I actually ran for my first office there, freshman class representative of the Liberal Arts Student Council. It was a very tough race against a girl from Jersey. She was tough and smart. Kamala Harris laughing. I love to laugh. It's really important to be able to laugh at yourself, laugh with folks, and there are obviously moments that require serious thought and serious approaches, but I hope that everybody has a moment to laugh from time to time. Kamala Harris presidential campaign. So I am running for president of the United States. I am the vice president of the United States, and I intend to win as president of the United States. And I intend to be a president for all Americans. As a prosecutor, when I would talk with a victim of crime or a witness, I never asked them, are you a Democrat or a Republican? The first thing I'd always ask them is, are you okay? And that's the kind of president I intend to be. It's about you and how you're doing. And again, tapping into your dreams and your aspirations for yourself and the people in your life. Can Kamala Harris beat Trump? Yes, absolutely. I think what's really important is to know what you stand for, and then you know what to fight for. You know, I come from a middle-class background. My mother worked hard, she saved up, and only when I was a teenager, she was able to buy our first home. And that's why I'm focused in particular on middle-class families and doing what I can to uplift working people. My opponent, Donald Trump, on the other hand, you know, he gives tax breaks to billionaires and big corporations. I stand for our military. I believe we have to honor their service, their sacrifice, the service and sacrifice of their families. My opponent has called military heroes suckers and losers. Not to mention that I think most Americans want to have a leader who believes that their strength is not in beating people down, but in lifting people up. And that's why I'm going to beat Trump. Kamala Harris, Attorney General of California, 2 terms. As Attorney General, I was the top law enforcement officer of the biggest state in the country. I took on the big banks for predatory lending practices against homeowners, so many who faced foreclosure, and I took them on and actually won $20 billion. Kamala Harris policies. One of my policies is to make sure that first-time home buyers will get $25,000 in down payment assistance. So you can just get your foot in the door and be able to live that dream and obviously work hard and own a home, and that's part of building wealth. The tax deduction right now for startups is only $5,000, and no one can start a new small business with $5,000. Let's expand that and give people a $50,000 tax deduction to start up a small business. Our small businesses are the backbone of America's economy, including giving a tax break to middle-class families, including young parents, of $6,000. So you can just have the support you need to buy a crib, to buy a car seat, to buy baby clothes, knowing that's such a fundamental stage of your child's life, the first year of life, and we want to do what we can to support your natural desire to parent. Kamala Harris, Tim Walz. So Tim Walz is my running mate. I call him, as do many, Coach Walz. He's an incredible person. He was a high school teacher, high school football coach. He has served our country in uniform, and he is currently a governor of a state under his leadership that has been designated 6th most friendly to businesses. He reminds me of people I grew up with. Different part of the country, folks who seemingly have nothing in common and have everything in common. Hardworking people who love their community, who care and work hard and contribute. Get to know Tim Walz. He's really a great guy. Kamala Harris Sorority. The name of my sorority is Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, and it is the oldest Black sorority in America and has a history of producing incredible women who have gone on to great roles of leadership. Kamala Harris, gun ownership. I and Tim Walz are both gun owners. We will not take anybody's guns away. We also need to have reasonable gun safety laws. I believe that we need an assault weapons ban. We need universal background checks. We need red flag laws. We can support the Second Amendment, as I do, and also agree that we need some reasonable laws. I mean, if you talk to a lot of people in our country who have sadly, from kindergarten through 12th grade, have to go through active shooter drills and worry about whether when they're sitting in class and should be learning and taking advantage of the wonders of the world, and some part of their mind is worried about somebody busting through the door of the classroom with a gun, I think we should agree. We don't want our kids, we don't want anyone to live with that kind of fear, and there are things we can do about it. Kamala Harris, Taylor Swift. I am very proud to have the support of Taylor Swift. She's an incredible artist. I really respect the courage that she has had in her career to stand up for what she believes is right. But we were on different sides of the Super Bowl last year. I am a 49ers fan, but who's mad at anyone for being loyal to their team, right? So there you go. Kamala Harris, debate. That was quite enjoyable. I enjoyed the debate. I think it's very important for us to, in our democracy, create an opportunity for civil debate and disagreement about ideas and about policies. I think the debate showed that we have 2 very different visions for our country. I stand for and have a vision that is about the future of our country, and I offer, I think, a new generation of leadership. My opponent, Donald Trump, I think his vision for our country is very grounded in the past, and frankly, an attempt to take us backward. You know, taking away the freedom to make decisions about your own body, regardless of your gender, saying that the government has a right to tell you what to do with your body. I think that's kind of backward. I think the government shouldn't be making those decisions for people. Kamala Harris, joy. I call myself a joyful warrior. I think it is important to find joy in each other, in the strength that we each have to lift each other up, to build community, to build coalition. There you go. Let's all share some joy.